Welcome back to Dirtbag Baseball Talk, everybody. Kirk here, along with my good buddy and longtime Instagram buddy, I guess, and it's grown into more than that for sure. And Justin Sherman of JustinTime Baseball. For any Instagram followers out there watching this, you'll know him by that name. And you know what? It's great to have you with us today, Justin. Thanks for joining.
Coach, thank you so much for having me. And we didn't talk about this off air, but I'm going to say it on air. What you're doing for the game, promoting just positivity and wholesomeness, if that's even a term word, is you're doing a great service for the game. So, we're in a new world of Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. 10 years ago, this didn't even exist, but you're doing a great job. You're utilizing the tools perfectly, spreading a good, positive message.
I appreciate that for sure, and that's the whole goal of it. And again, on the flip side of that, Justin, that's why we have those great amateur athletes for a chance and opportunity to share their story, how they're doing, and making out at this point in their baseball or softball journeys. And the same as yourselves. I wanted to get away from the coach to coach connection, so to speak, and not because I wanted to get away from it. It was just because I think it was almost overused or whatever, a couple old guys talking or whatever, and you're significantly younger than me, obviously, but I just want to put a different spin on it. And that's kind of what gravitated us together. I think it was, right? Like, here's a guy, Dirtbags, just so you know, a little background on Justin. Whereabouts are you from, Justin? I know where you're from or whatever, but if you want to share with the audience.
Westchester, New York.
Westchester, New York. So pretty exclusive county in the country and stuff like that. I think that's fair to say.
For sure.
Yep, for sure. So, and what was your baseball journey like growing up? Was it high intensity, this showcase travel everywhere? Or was it, son, go and enjoy it and learn to love the game?
It's a good question. So, it also depends. There's a long answer, but it really depends on your parenting or guardian influence. And my parents were not that way, meaning they were very just go out there and have fun. But in this area, very competitive area, there's a lot of money being spent on trainers and travel programs, like you said, affluent area, no doubt about it. So it definitely is intense. It also depends on what home environment you're in. But overall, it's pretty intense. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of great programs out there. There's a lot of programs doing it for the right reason. There's also a lot of programs doing it for the wrong reason. And that's, I think, anywhere in the country, which is an issue, but we could dive into that. But to answer it, the short answer is it was an overall intense environment for the county, for Westchester. Definitely competitive, a lot of money being spent on programs.
Yep, for sure. And you did go through your high school and stuff like that, and continued on to early stages of college, I believe. And you know what, you went through it. And how did that all help the process of where you are now? And obviously everything we do, yourselves, the great thing about life is you wake up every day and you continue to evolve if you got the right mindset, I guess, right? And the right purpose and the right intent. But how at the high school and the college, did you find it kind of driving you in one direction or another, or seeing things happen that, hey, this is a fit and I'd like to do this in the future, or I'd like to do this, but maybe in a different way?
Totally. So I run a company, as you said earlier, JustinTime Baseball. And I'm saying this, the reason why I started this company is I was not that cookie cutter. I was not cookie cutter, meaning I got cut from my JV high school baseball team. Barely made the varsity baseball team in high school. Played Division III at a nice little school in New York called Purchase College. Yep. So that, and again, it's a long story, but that alone drove me from a kid not making his high school JV team to barely making the varsity to playing college and now running a training company, coaching kids from all over, basically New York. So my journey, that inspired me to just want to help that kid that maybe just needs that little extra push, or to help them reach their own potential. That's kind of our motto, is to help kids reach their own potential. I was that kid. And if I could do that with kids all around, frankly, the country, that'd be unbelievable. I mean, that's my motivation because I have that backdrop of not being that kid that, oh, I played pro ball, I played Division 1. I mean, I was a pretty good ball player. Unfortunately, injuries happen. But I always had that passion to give back and to lead and inspire. And by me having that backstory definitely helped inspire me go down the coaching route
Yeah.
to help
Yeah.
kids reach their potential.
Absolutely, and I think that's kind of the unique thing. If you look at Justin's Instagram page, Dirtbags, you'll see a lot of that, right? Like you'll see pictures of young ball players that don't even know they're ball players yet.
Right.
The whole package and the whole gauntlet, but it's unique in what your message is, Justin, I think, and this is important to realize. You're drawing adults in, whether that be parents alone or parent coaches
Yes.
that don't even know they want to be coaches yet or whatever, and that through their kids. And I think that's the opening for you, right? You have a tremendous understanding, you and your staff, of how to conduct your business with all of those youth ages, but it's to get your passion lies in getting the parents in there and young amateur coaches in there to really get your hands on them and try to help influence or mold and or just pay it forward basically, but pay it
Correct.
forward in the right way, I think. Would that be fair enough statement?
Totally. Just like you utilize Instagram, YouTube, all your great channels, which you're very good at. You got to teach me how to use it. Um, it's to that those tools that you use, that I use, is to just help inspire a child. And again, yes, it is geared for us. For our channel is also definitely the parents to help their parents when they're not at a practice or not at a private training, and when they're just a t-ball coach. If they want to, that might inspire. It should. Our goal is to help inspire more parent coaches to get involved, because ultimately it can't just be parent coaches. It can't just be quote unquote professional coaches. We need parent coaches. They're like the underbelly of youth sports, frankly. So if we can utilize our tools, our social media tools, to help get the message out and influence people, that's what it's all about. That's what's so beautiful about it.
Yeah, yeah, and we've been fortunate enough to do a lot throughout the U.S. as well as Canada and stuff like that,
You're
and
all over.
you
You're
know
killing it. You guys are
exactly
killing
right. We'll carry on in that because again, it's just through baseball we've been very fortunate and stuff like that. But you're right. I think he hit some real key points, Justin. The fact of it, you called it the underbelly, and that's exactly right. Of parents and becoming coaches for the next generation and the present generation, and you know it's amazing to me because I always say that to them, whether we're doing hands-on physical training or conventions or clinics or whatever it is, like yourself, and you come out and you actually say that to them, how impressed you are with them and how important they are in that vision and what they're offering as a coach, right? It's right there with teachers in the world, because they're teaching baseball, but they, without even knowing it, they are teaching life as well. And it's funny, it's almost like, I hate to say it, like, slapping them in the face and kind of, oh, wake up call or whatever and that, but
No, it
yeah,
is. It is.
yep, it's amazing with the reaction a lot of times. And I don't know if you've seen that or done that, because I know you do a lot of clinics as well.
Totally. I mean, I'm very fortunate that I've been asked over the last 2 years, really, to speak to parent coaches all around Westchester County. We've been in multiple towns speaking to all their parent coaches, and you'll see the enrollment of the parent coaches, one or two more, two or three more. When I speak to the president of their leagues, that's a victory to me.
Sure.
I mean, that's a huge victory because they have a lot of skills, parents that maybe have nothing to do with baseball. They know nothing about baseball, but maybe they have another skill that they could bring to the table. Not maybe, I know they do. That a quote unquote professional coach may not have. So I think it's important for them to work in unison. And once, we as coaches could help them realize that, it's just a beautiful thing for the game. It's just healthy for the game.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of abolishing parent coaches. I think at the youth level, we need to have parent coaches and work in unison. And to answer your question, totally, they get a wake up call, and that's my goal. It's a positive wake up call, right?
It is.
Because we need them.
Yeah, yeah, there's no question about it. You're right. I mean, it's funny, right? Well, getting on parents. Well, come on, that's just unrealistic or whatever.
I know parents, and I don't mean to cut you off, Coach.
No.
I'm sorry to cut you off there. I know parent coaches that, I mean, I had one parent coach that I once was involved with. He coached a little bit in his past, a little bit. Long story short, he's a retired NYPD police officer. He's now on our staff. So you never know. I mean, there are a lot of great parent coaches. And if they have the right tools, just a little nuggets here and there, I mean, it's a beautiful thing for the game.
So let's stay on that then, Justin. What are some things you could give to parents and or college player transitioning from college into maybe coaching and stuff like that? What are some keys that you would like to see them or you would recommend to focus on?
By the way, you ask great questions. Really, you're smooth. So two things. I would say one thing that really changed my game as a coach, and we're all learning, right? We're always on that path to learning. But really, I think this will make you a better coach, and I believe it's made me a better coach. It's not the kid's fault; it's your fault. Now, I don't mean fault like you're bad, but whether it's a drill not working, or you didn't relay that message, or the child isn't listening. If a 7-year-old's kicking dirt, it's not the child, right? I mean, obviously, kids are kids, but taking self inventory and really like understanding where you're in control, that growth mindset makes you a better coach because you're in control of that change. That's one. I think that's a big thing. Like an 18, 19-year-old that just got out, whatever, let's say 22-year-old that's just getting out of college, wants to get into coaching. Don't just say, oh, he's 7, he's not listening. No, actually, it's the message. Or maybe there's 10 kids in a line and they're kicking dirt. That's not their fault. That's your fault, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Make the adjustment, make 3 drills, fewer kids standing around. That kind of mindset, big thing for coaching and parents. And also something that changed my mindset to help run a practice. And this helps with let's just say a parent coach in Quebec. Yep. I'm making this up. Duration over number, meaning I rather work on the amount of time. So for example, like instead of saying do 10 catches, I want you to tell the child, get as many catches as you can within 30 seconds. It's a big difference. So instead of just saying amount, duration to help a kid reach their own potential, and taking self-inventory of the drill or what they're saying. So flip the switch. I would say those 2 things are major. That will make you a better coach instantly.
Yeah. Huge. Great points, man. Love them. Really do. Exactly. We always talk about it. You're right. As coaches, you got to learn that you're dealing with human beings at the end of the day. We perceive that they're baseball players, no matter what the age is, but they're human beings, and everybody has their own personality, and you need to learn how to, adapt. And I may teach one way, you may teach another way, and very subtle. It's all baseball at the end of the day, but you may be adaptable to little Johnny or Sarah, where I can say the same things, but a little bit differently. And it's just not a fit. It's just not a connection. It doesn't trigger, right? And stuff like that. So love what you pointed out there. And the other thing we always talk about is having an ace mindset. And those are things that you can control every day of your life on a ball field or in everyday life. And that's your accountability, your commitment, and your effort. If you can bring those every time, and we bring those, and I think that goes back to your point of being able to self-reflect. Did I bring the drills and did I relay them or communicate them properly to my students today or my players today? So love those.
Coach, on top of that, and I tell this to my staff all the time, you can have all the tools, right? Like I'll bring in professional coaches, to speak to my staff, right? Which, by the way, we could talk off air. I'd love to have you speak with my guys. Basically, to help them utilize to manage practices, to manage the children. Sometimes there's another thing to realize on number 3 to add to my last point.
Yep.
Sometimes it just doesn't work, right? Like sometimes it just doesn't. You bring the tools, and just like you said, you reflect. Did I do the best I can? And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You do the best you can.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So let's roll that at the back end of this episode and stuff like that for this one, because we definitely want to grow with this and get you back on again for sure. So on the flip point, what are 2 things maybe that stand out to you that you would really suggest to them to try to stay away or become aware of that they're doing, and how it actually could impact players positively or negatively or whatever, and maybe it's body language, maybe it's just little subtle things that young coaches don't even consider that they're doing. I don't know if you have any.
Let's just say, so speaking like for a parent coach, right? If I'm correct.
Yep.
So I think it's very easy for parent coaches and even professional. I mean,
Yeah.
I get paid $1 to coach a kid. I'm a quote unquote professional. It's kind of a slippery slope sometimes. There's people, there's a lot of great people that do it right. There's a lot of people that get paid that don't do it right, but it is what it is. So I would say for a parent coach or any coach, it's very important to be proactive and not reactive. Very easy to say, hey, Johnny, you're not listening, as opposed to rewarding positive behavior. I think that's something to be careful of as a parent, and forget just parent coach, any coach, to be proactive and not reactive. I think that's a trap that a lot of coaches fall into.
Yeah, great point, man. That is. You're
It's amazing.
Exactly right.
It's amazing what you could get, and I'm sorry to cut you off, is like what you could get with sugar as opposed to vinegar. Like you'll see so many times when I say, I love the way Johnny is in an athletic position, how many kids get into an athletic position as opposed to, Johnny, come on, bend your knees. It's really amazing how that small tweak makes a big difference.
Yeah. And there you go, Dirtbags. These are just a few of the things. You know why we love them, man. We get energized. We get pumped up just talking to them on air, off air. It doesn't seem to matter, whatever. But definitely, Justin, as we wrap this episode up anyways, Justin, you did hear him say during this interview and conversation that his goal is, he's in Westchester County of New York right now, and he's growing throughout the Westchester area and stuff like that. So he wants to grow across the country or whatever and things like that, and have a residual effect across impacting young coaches, parent coaches, the players in general, to really just love and gravitate to this great game that we always talk about and that we all love, baseball. And it's huge. So where could people be getting in touch with you, Justin? Where, your email, your Instagram? I don't know if you're on any other social media at this time or whatever. We connect through Instagram, I know. So where can they find you, man?
I appreciate this, and I got to learn from you. We're on JustinTime Baseball on Instagram, very heavily involved with Instagram. JustinTime Baseball on Twitter, starting to tweet a little bit more. Those 2 are big, heavy ones. And then also we're revamping the YouTube channel. Just go to JustinTime Baseball, and also our website, JustinTimeBaseball.com. So I always try to provide as much value as possible to parents, parent coaches, and just for the kids. So I'd love to learn from you. You do a phenomenal job. I mean, you really utilize the tools perfectly. Like you do it correctly.
Well, we're getting there, and I appreciate it for sure. So, and so you do baseball training. That's the main mission of it. But what forms do you do that through? Just as a finishing point and stuff like that. So I know you do.
So we're starting to expand out of New York. We're starting to get into Connecticut. Frankly, we're starting to do clinics. Hopefully, my goal is to maybe go across the country and barnstorm leagues all across the country. That'd be a big, 5-year plan there.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So, and when they contact you or get in touch with you, or they're looking for JustinTime Baseball and Justin Sherman, what are the different opportunities for them? Birthday parties,
We do birthdays.
take it around the
So
park.
our big thing that we've been doing, Coach, is rookie programs, and that's like you said very nicely and kindly, like ages 5 through 7, 5 through 8. We'll come into different towns and run a rookie ball program, basically instruct a rookie ball program, and it's almost a partnership in unison with the town or the league. So they get a great service, and it's just a win-win all around. And basically build that foundation. So I'll come in and help instruct the parent coaches, and then we'll do a rookie program and get the parent coaches involved. So they get a great service, Justin-Time Baseball, and their parents get to learn from us. It's a win-win. So we're in 5 different towns this week alone. So if we can multiply that, it would be great. And maybe someday you could come down in Westchester, or I can come to Canada. I'd love to do that.
Without question, man. Yeah, the world needs more energy and realistic energy for sure and stuff like that. Well thought out, but adaptable and flexible, and that's what's great about it. And that's what we really like and gravitate to Justin-Time and yourself and just it's a great package, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you on behalf of the baseball community. And you're growing and you deserve to be growing.
I appreciate that. And the same thing could be said about you.
All right, there you go, Dirtbags. Can't thank you enough, Justin, for being on. And I know we're going to be back on in a couple months or whatever, because I want to stay up with you. I want to see where you're growing. I want to see where it all becomes, a reality for you. It is a reality, but a continued reality, and where the journey's taking you, man, because that's it. I know you wake up on the right side of the bed every day and with a great vision and the great mindset and continue to do what you do. So, Dirtbags, we can't do it without you. We do it for you. We bring people like Justin. We continue to bring people like Justin, whether you're on that end of the baseball spectrum in the journey or whatever. And again, if you're an amateur player out there doing great things and cool things, we want to know about your story. We want to share your story to the world and stuff like that, because you have that right. You deserve to have that right for sure. So contact us, Kirk at dirtbagbaseballnation.com. That's Kirk at dirtbagbaseballnation.com. And we'll get you on here. We'll talk about it. We'll find out about the story, and we'll share it to the world with you for sure. So obviously we've got the apparel. Go right to dirtbagbaseballnation.com. Having said that, Justin-Time, if you just want to pull up your shirt, Justin, I think you've got one on there. I know he's got his apparel on his. So JustinTimeBaseball.com, right, Justin?
That is correct. And you got some nice swag.
So
I checked out your swag. It's nice.
So thank you. So, but that's where it all is, Dirtbag. So you know what? Until the next episode, thank you for joining us here on Dirtbag Baseball Talk. And you know what time of the week it is, everybody. It's time to get up, get after it, and get dirty.